Hello there. We're going to watch the number one film, sort of, in the UK Netflix. At the moment, we're going to watch the Jamie Vardy Untold. So, we're going to talk about Leicester winning the league against all the odds, a lot of odds. Jamie Vardy starting off working in a factory. We're going to look at his non league life, which I'll tell you a little bit about from my experience of watching non league football, and the whole this should not have happened about Jamie Vardy and who he is. So we're going to start with queuing up, syncing up the film. So get over to Netflix, Untold UK, Jamie Vardy. And when you see play, I'm going to get through. Going to get through the adverts first. Well, there isn't an advert. That's good. So it's an hour and 30. So when you see play, press play. I will press play as well. And let's just have a chilled out watch of Jamie Vardy. Part of one of the greatest upsets in football history, underdog in history, and he exemplifies that for sure. Hopefully, it'll be replicated a bit by Hearts in Scotland, fingers crossed. So when you see play, if you've got it up on Netflix, press play. When you see play, press play. And here we go. Jamie Vardy. These Untolds are quite good. I don't watch all of them, but they're all right. They remind me a little bit of the 30 for 30 ESPN sports documentaries that they did years ago, which, I'll be honest, are much better. But this is the kind of Netflix version of that. So I have seen this clip before where he starts to go, what word would you use to describe him? Most people would say twat. I guess what he's like is just pretty much exactly what he was like when he started. He's just a regular guy, a bit of a sporty guy, just really down to earth, like super down to earth, rough and ready. I think he worked at a supermarket for a while, but to see him come from the eighth tier up to the Premier League. The irony being, I remember when Stockport were going through one of our many, we might have a new owner. One of the owners or potential owners said, you can buy this player we had on loan, or we'll buy Halifax's Jamie Vardy, and got the fans to vote on Twitter. It was like the beginning of Twitter, and obviously Vardy was playing for Halifax at the time. I remember them absolutely smashing us off the park when they got promoted into the league. Did they get promoted to the league? Oh no, it was Fleetwood. It was Fleetwood, not Halifax. Fleetwood, but he did play for Halifax. Fleetwood, and they got smashed. They smashed us out of the league. I think they got over 100 points. They got promoted. I think we got relegated that season or the next season. We all voted for the other guy, a guy called George Donnelly. He was a good player, but I think he went on to play for Skelmersdale and didn't really make it in the league. Jamie Vardy, on the other hand, went on to play for England, win the Premier League. He's currently playing for Cremonese. He's just I think a lot of it about him is like he wasn't the biggest guy, but he was just a grafter and aggression on the field. He's the sort of striker, a bit like Andy Much was for us, sort of striker that you want on your team, but you can't stand him when he plays against you. But he's just a goal machine for a long time, and he was good enough to get right up to the top, and he played for England, and he was a really good player. I rated him, he still is. I wonder if he'll come back to Leicester now that they've been relegated to League One, which, as a Stockport fan, that's my league. We're in the playoffs. Playoff semi-final tonight. We could potentially swap places with Leicester, which is bonkers. So his wife is here, and the last time I saw his wife was in the Colleen Rooney documentary, the Wagatha Christie documentary, which was quite interesting. Really got me on side with Colleen Rooney. I quite liked her. Yeah. It's crazy to think that only what is it, 10 years ago now that Leicester won the league, and now well, they are they've slumped to League One, where they have been there before, but to see it happen so much, I think it potentially to do with the people running it struggling after the passing away of the original owner. So Jamie's having a beer before he gets interviewed here. I don't know how much. I don't think any of it's an act. I think he just is who he is, and that's probably what's kept him. He's got that graft ethic that's probably kept him going for the entirety of his career and still going now. Um, it's unlikely somebody moves from that level of football up to the top. I think there was a team that let him go. Maybe Sheffield Wednesday let him go when he was really young. A lot of it, a bit like with Messi and people like that, people always go, oh, it's the size of players. They let them go when they're small, and then some of these young players, they use that to drive them on. And the size obviously changes as they get older, but also they get really kind of use that aggression and focus. So he's from Sheffield originally. We're seeing a bit of those city streets. I bet he was a Jack Miller. Think he was. I'm not sure if he was adopted. I'm not sure. But he's showing his factory background as well, working in a factory. Oh, I've been there, Jamie. I've worked in those kind of places as well, my friend. And not to be espousing my working class credentials or anything. There's just you're not there doing it and going, "Whoa, what a great working class," but you're just trying to make a bit of money. So he was a massive fan of Sheffield Wednesday. It's funny to think he's never played for them. Oh, David Hurst, he was a good player. So it's showing his hero, David Hurst, who was an incredible centre forward. His son plays for Ipswich at the moment, but David Hurst had a really serious injury, and he was going to be the player that Alex Ferguson wanted at Man United, and didn't get him because of this injury, and ended up going for Eric Cantona, and the rest is history. So he did sign for them at 10 years old, but I don't think he made the grade. Well, obviously he didn't. I'm going to put the subtitles on, if there are any. You'd think there should be. English, CC. There we go. Yeah. So it's just your usual lad. Love football. That was it. Just focused on football as a kid. So if you're watching this and you're usually on my channel for horror and different films and things like that, I mean, this is a slightly different one. It is a documentary on on Netflix. I will say though, as much as I love those 30 for 30 documentaries, I don't really know very much about American football or basketball or any of the things that they talked about, but they were really entertaining. So I'd be interested to see if you're an American or you're living in another country, if you find this documentary about Jamie Vardy interesting, not if you don't know anything about him beforehand. I mean, it is a great story, and I believe they are making, not they're making a film of it where to show this underdog story. It's hard to make a football movie. Hard to pick a sports movie in general that isn't like too sporty for people who want to watch a film that isn't about sport, and too like not accurate enough to make people sports fans enjoy it, and it falls between those two stools. Stockbridge Park is first team here, 100 to 200 fans. Sounds alright. I wonder if he's still pals with those lads that he played with at Stockbridge. She can't necessarily bring them with you. Just saying how fast he was. And there he is. These clips of him playing for Stockbridge, I've definitely seen, how fast he is. I think that's against, it is against FC United. I have no time for FC United. Like, what are they? What a player he was. Is. Just you can see his body language is like, give me the ball, I want to put this in the net now. Yeah, just nothing. Yeah, just sheer determination. So it sounds like he's just focused on having a beer and but playing really hard. I don't think he's changed his regimen very much. I think he's still like 100% off on the pitch, and I don't necessarily. He must have done something to it because his career is still going, and he's about what 37. 38 now and he's still going. He must be fit. He can't be the one person who like drinks Red Bull and goes for loads of pints and eats rubbish and just still stays super healthy just through running loads. I don't know, maybe he is. Maybe he is. Maybe he's a bit of a throwback. Maybe that's what people like about him. We'll find out if he still does that now. I like to drink. I like football. Oh, his group of friends are calling me in-betweeners. Oh, friend. Oh, he's literally referencing the in-between.
Who the fuck have you been talking to? Yeah, Signal. No, I was very.
He was ready, so he used to like get hammered at the weekends and then have Mondays off work.
At that point in my life, there's no stability whatsoever, and it got me in a world of trouble. I was out with one of my mates, and someone started taking a piss out of him for wearing a hearing aid. So we started having a scuffle.
Oh, getting into fights and bits and pieces. It's funny. This is very similar in a lot of ways to like a lot of stories you hear about young working class fellas. It's a shame, really, that like that sort of you're dysregulated and untethered from society. The only connection you can have is just going out and fighting like with your mates or whatever. It's like that film, the Stephen Graham film I watched recently, where they get the guy off antisocial guy off the street and then they chain him up in the cellar. That's an interesting one. He ends up becoming like completely indoctrinated into their way of doing things. That when he gets away, he actually come. Well, I won't tell you. I don't want to ruin it. So he got arrested, and then he's missed playing football, and that's when he's really realised he's let his mates down. So he's kind of learning his lessons for himself. It doesn't sound like there's any guidance in his life. He doesn't want to keep going down the same route, ended up in prison. See, no, it's easily done. Easily done. Sheffield Senior Cup.
I got to a stage where, yes, I was enjoying myself, but I just needed something new.
So, yeah, so he's written request for a transfer, Mr. Jamie Vardy. He's hopefully trying to, progress himself, challenge himself. But yeah, and that's when he goes to Halifax. So I remember this is when he first became known to me. He was playing for Halifax. Halifax have a semi-decent stadium. They're probably in the right place. Bottom mid conference. It would have been the mid to top side of the conference. Possibly even if it went on a really got a really good manager, a couple extra players in, they might get into the be the bottom end of League Two. Well, Halifax have been kind of similar to Stockport for a long time, but we kind of had a couple of really good things going for us, such as Chairman Brendan Elwood and now Chairman Jamie Stott used to play for us, and Halifax, Mark Stott, and Danny Bigara, Jim Gannon, Challoner as managers, people like that. The money, the investment allowing us to get certain players. Halifax have never really had that. I think they went out of business actually and came back. So it was an hour for him to drive. Yeah, Sheffield to Halifax is not too far. I think I've been to a few places in Halifax for work, and Sheffield to be fair. So he just carried on banging in the goals for Halifax. I mean, he is one of those players where you knew his name because once you have a player who is just absolutely banging goals in regularly, you do notice them no matter what level there are. There was a guy recently who scores like 40, 50 goals in some really low league, and Swindon bought him, but he hasn't started banging him in. He hasn't had much of a chance to bang him in yet. So he's got an 8th tier, he's now in the 7th tier. And he's just, he's looking at getting an agent. So this guy's literally, I think it's his first client, first person. He just wants to be an agent so he can be with, have Jamie Vardy as his client. He just didn't miss, yeah. I remember him scoring loads against us. Like I said, I couldn't stand him for that reason. So he's still around Yorkshire, though, isn't he? Like Halifax as well.
How can I not get hold of a player that's playing in the 7th tier? I probably put, you know what I mean? That's probably where it was. Yeah. He'd eventually get him, and he did eventually take a meeting. Just got out of bed when the doorbell.
So I wonder if this agent is still his agent now. That would be a nice sign if he's like got people that he's kind of connected with who actually can trust and not rip him off. Because there's some footballers, you hear some horrible stories about, you know, financial advisors and people. There was a whole documentary on it, ripping them off. It's a bit like, I mean, in America, it's not just, it's not, it seems to be more about like very poor people from really, really poor backgrounds making it in, say, the NBA, and then their entire family just rinsing them for all their money. In the UK, it seems to be like more about financial advisors. It seems to be a bit more taboo. Your family rinsing you for money. It's more likely to can be complete strangers.
Basically, he said he wanted to be my agent. I just said yeah to get rid of him. I ended up with.
So John Morris is his agent.
Together ever since.
Oh, he's still his agent. That's cool. I like seeing loyalty and things like that.
You will be here next year. No, I'm signing for Ibiza town. Coming back. We got promoted.
He's going to go to Ibiza town.
I just said, listen, I'm quitting my job. It's like, I went, I'm just going to give football a real good go for a year. So if it don't work, it don't work. And it was my job then to go to the league. So I had to just hang.
So then this agent's trying to get him into a football league club. So did he not play for Fleetwood in the conference? I thought he did. So he was 24 when he was playing for Halifax, which is quite old for a footballer at that level to be kind of having aspirations and moving up. Not impossible. You have seen it. He's not the first, but he's maybe the first to make it all the way to England in that way. So then he goes to Fleetwood, goes to Lancashire. So they were in the 5th tier. Yeah. So they were actually in 5th tier. What's that? Premier League, first, second, yeah. Championship 1, 2. Yeah. So they were in the conference and they were unbelievable, unbeatable that year. So he didn't actually move. He moved sideways in a way, but Fleetwood were like they had an investor at the time. They had money, they had players, and they were just going, they were just smashing teams, including us. Stockport. I bet I can probably see in this clip a few of them. Yeah, he was scoring 30-odd goals. He was great. When I remember seeing, it's so funny that county fans were just like, I think we'd rather have this George Donnelly that we've had on loan and scored a few rather than this player who is pelting. Oh, there's one now. He just went in. I think that was at Stockport. Oh, not at Stockport, against Stockport. So they won the league. They got into League 2. And I don't know how long he stayed with Fleetwood after that before he went to Leicester. He wasn't there very long. I think Fleetwood just kind of hit a plateau of League 1 and then kind of wobbled between the two. But at one stage, they were a bit like a Wrexham kind of team where you thought, oh, these are going to shoot right up. And that was it. Yeah, it was Leicester, Nigel Pearson. Another really weird, interesting character. I was surprised to see how they got along, unless Pearson became like a father figure to him. But also, Pearson was captain of Sheffield Wednesday, so he probably looked up to him in that sense. It'd be a bit like my hero was Mike Flynn. It'd be a bit like him being my boss. Similar kind of player as well.
Just very quiet.
So Pearson was a bit, not. Vardy was a bit awestruck when he saw him. Oh, so he was a bit hungover. That's one of the reasons he was quiet.
Signing for us. And that was it. There was only one place I was going to go.
So he went to Leicester, and that's it. But if you think he's gone to Leicester when they were on a decline, left them when they're kind of on a decline again. But in between that, they've done everything you could do. They've won cups and they've won the Premier League. Insane. So yeah, they must have been in the Championship. I'm pretty sure they got relegated though to League One. Or was this after they got back to the Championship? Was it? So this has happened relatively quick. 25 at Leicester. Yeah, and is he still thinking I'm gonna still go out having a drink and hang out with my pals and still do it, or does he change? Hey Larry, how's it going, my friend? Yeah, I don't know if do you ever watch did you ever watch those 30 for 30 documentaries? This is very similar to that kind of thing. This is the ultimate underdog story in terms of football, really. Team or a player going from going up about 7 or 8 divisions and winning the Premier League with a team that had, I think it was like 16,000 to one shot of winning the Premier League 10 years ago. They were really great. These Netflix ones, I don't think they're as good as those 30 for 30, but some of those 30 for 30s were great. The Allen Iverson one, I remember that being really, really good. So yeah, Vardy here we get to see him. He's 24. He's still kind of finding his way. He's given himself a year to make it in football, and he's made it. At this point, by 24, he's at Leicester in the Championship, one below the Premier League. £1 million for him from a team who've just got promotion to the conference. Strangely, at the time, probably a bit of a risk. And now I'm in an advert, so I'll give you guys a time check where we are. What's this? An advert for Stella Artois? Okay. Not a fan of Stella Artois, really. The Last Dance, yeah. Well, I was a big fan of Scottie Pippen, so I do need to see that, really. I used to love... I had a friend when I was at... I had a friend, and it's hard to believe. I had a friend at school who was really into basketball and kind of took me with him. It was when Britain was really trying to have... Or England was trying to have basketball teams, and they had... the Manchester Giants and things like that. And my friend Steve, he got into basketball to the point where he ended up refereeing kids' games. He passed away really young, actually, Steve. He was a really great guy. But he really got me into... Well, he's a bit of a character. He was a bit cheeky character. He got me into basketball a lot. Like, I remember really liking Golden State Warriors, Latrell Sprewell and Scottie Pippen and at the Bulls. He was my favourite. I liked him more than Jordan because he seemed to be just doing all the work. He's a real hard worker. Yeah, so I was right. Leicester, even though he was playing well, Leicester got relegated. Oh, cool. Oh, you're a Bulls fan. That's awesome. Don't think we've ever talked about basketball. Hi, Stacey. Good to see you. I was saying earlier on, it's really hard to make a film, like an actual film, narrative film about a sport, because you've got a lot of the audience going, this isn't like what happened, this isn't like what my sport is like, or these players were like, or what actually happened. And then the other half of people are going, this has got too much sport in it, and it's not really what I want to watch in a movie. It's like, you've got to balance that. The narrative's got to be really strong, but you've got to kind of let go, haven't you, and accept that some things in it are not going to be exactly how you remember them if you are a sports fan. I wouldn't say starstruck, but I'd probably say in awe of it all. I'll be totally honest, I've not heard of it beforehand. I've heard news, I saw the media. So here's Wes Morgan, who was the captain of Leicester, talking about him. He's a Leicester captain from 2012 to 21. He did really well. A lot of these players, they did not have the expectation that they would ever win the Premier League. It's almost impossible. Came in the change room, dressed like he'd just been woken up in Mali and come. So he used to turn up in the dressing room like he'd just been like out at a club in Ibiza or somewhere. It was almost like endearing seeing him with those clothes on. It was almost like proper, what we might call like chavvy clothes. The first game was Turkey in the cup. Well, yeah, that's it. Yeah, it did change. It changed it forever. Like there was a guy who I think cashed in the last minute or so. I think he put like he was on for making something like £20,000 off like something like ridiculous, like 10 quid or something, and he ended up not. Yeah, he ended up not. He ended up cashing out, getting a decent amount, but not holding on because he just couldn't because it came right down to the wire. Oh, jeez, dog scared me to death. Postman. Oh, Vardy's struggling here in the championship, so we're seeing the classic. Oh, is he going to make it? He does. We wouldn't be making a documentary about him if he didn't. So Martin Waghorn, who's coming on for Vardy here in this clip. Martin Waghorn now, or last time I saw him, he was belting in goals in Baller League, the influencer five-a-side game, which is quite fun. You can watch it on YouTube. It's not as good this season. It's kind of gone downhill a bit, I think. But the KSI owned thing, it's quite funny, really. Yeah, Waghorn there coming off coming on, and Vardy coming off. Vardy getting a lot of stick here, saying that he can't score goals when he's in the championship. He's showing him hitting the bar and hitting the post quite a lot, which feels a bit, like I always think players do that a lot, or he's making chances. Eventually, stick with him; it'll happen. He cashed out his 20 quid bet, won 29,000 instead of 100,000. Yeah, but fair enough. Fair enough. Like he can understand why he did that. It's still a great. It's better than ending with 20 quid, isn't it? So the summers he would go absolutely caning it, drinking so much. Oh yeah, it's amazing. Blimey, what I wouldn't give for £29,000 right now. So they're saying he's just, Belvedere. What's that? Is that vodka? And putting bags of Skittles in it, lining up in the apartment, loads and loads of booze, pizza boxes. So the guy is really pushing his luck now with his lifestyle. If he's going to be successful, something might need to change. He just said he's been late for training, and his agent, who's like his mate, really, has said, you're going to be back in non-league. Nigel Pearson was very lenient, he just said to him, which is unusual. You wouldn't expect that. But I guess it's like certain big character managers, they do have their favourites, they do put their arm around certain players. That's man management, looking at certain people and going, that one needs a kick up the backside and that person needs an arm around the shoulder. I mean, it's interesting, that is a high level sport. Maybe I'm wrong, but I've never felt like anybody I've managed or worked with in that sense that I've needed to like kick them up the backside. I've tried to build a relationship built on sort of trust, and like if you let me down, you'd feel it, you'd feel upset, because you know that I trusted you, if that kind of makes sense. But I think maybe my style is more what modern football managers are like. I don't know if you've got the kick up the backside anymore because they're on so much money. The players have the power, I think. So this is about Jamie's life changing. It's likely to be about him getting together with Rebecca. It's called Rebecca Vardy, who's a bit of a well-known newspaper baiting character. So she's talking about going out with him and stuff, but she'd already had a kid, already been with somebody else. But yeah, I think that she. Obviously there's the weird thing with her and Colleen Rooney, the Wagatha Christie case, which is a really interesting documentary actually, which I did not expect to be. I ended up really really liking Colleen Rooney. It was about kind of Instagram stalking and sharing things to the media. And I'm not sure why, with the money that she has, Rebecca Vardy, why she would have even shared information about her friend other than for attention. I don't know. But then, I do understand that sometimes that does work that way, where if you've never come from money, the opportunity of free money, essentially, or easy money, you're still not going to turn it down. So he used to do a thing when they go out for drinking, just go and trip people up in the street on purpose, just to be like silly.
Sounds like all my mates, if I'm honest. No.
And they've got one of his mates has got Jamie Vardy's signature signed on his arse. Where's Morgan dance? So yeah, he's kind of got some of his teammates into drinking culture more than them getting him into professionalism. You're right. You're right, Stacey. He is a very much pauper to prince, and he hasn't thrown it away. I mean, I don't know where he is money wise, but he's over in Italy at the moment at Cremonese. He's had a very very good and successful and long career.
One of the first things I did as soon as I woke up was message her. Good looking.
Yeah, I mean, it's hard to say. I mean, I think maybe hard talking, it depends on who's doing the harsh talking. In this case, it's one of his heroes from when he was a kid. So, like, not to underestimate, for example, I have like an absolute hero of a footballer who I've met a few times, and he's done a few things for my family, and he's just been a really great guy. Called Mike Flynn. He was just so good to my dad when my dad was sick. And if he was to say to me like, Matthew, fucking sort yourself out, I would do it because I respect him that much. Whereas other people talk to me like that and I don't have that respect for them, I probably just wouldn't do it. And I would say I'm probably from a similar background to Jamie Vardy. I think I probably respond to things in a similar way. Not that I was more introverted as a youngster, so I don't think I would act out in that sense. But it seems like his wife has had a positive impact on him. Certain key figures in football. Unbelievably, his agent, a good guy for him, and the stability of having those friends who maybe won't let him become Billy Big Bollocks and start, you know. Hello, what do you want? What do you want, Marcy? You just want to say hi. Hi. I can see my dog's just come to stare at me. She probably wants to go out. I'm going to take her out in a little while, I think. After this, it's going quick. I thought it was going to be a series, and then at first I thought it was going to be a film. So she's talking about his drinking not changing once they were together, and she was kind of wanting him to sort himself out when she had the baby. There's different things that make people grow up, isn't there? Responsibility being one of them. Oh, and here's an advert. I didn't give a time check earlier on. I'll do one after this advert. Fairy liquid. Good old fairy liquid. 2 adverts to watch. I'm not paying for no adverts on Netflix. Isn't it funny how we've gone back to the time of having adverts on things when, like, it's going to be great in the future, can choose what, it's like, we're back. And really, I don't know, I mean, they must work, but what are the impact of things you see on TV? I can't remember the last time I saw an advert for something on TV and was like, oh man, I'll buy that fairy liquid or whatever. Like, well, buy whatever's available. Like, is anyone really influenced by this? Isn't there's some companies now that just don't advertise at all because they're like, we know people are just going to buy our, I don't know. Unbelievably, I did a unit at university, buying behaviour, but I've forgotten it all. So Jamie at this time was going with his mates 36-hour drinking benders, as they call them. Sat in his local pub. That's one thing I noticed about Yorkshire accent. Sat in us this is, getting up to us. And there's always an extra us in there. So she pulled him out of the pub in front of his mates. Interesting. She's kind of had to be a bit on the sort of serious side with him, take him down and kind of say, hang on, this is not happening, if you're not going to pull yourself together. I mean, it is. I mean, there's so many. He did have she's right. He has such an opportunity. There's so many people would have absolutely killed to be a professional footballer in any capacity. Like when I was a kid, I was like, I'm going to be a writer and a footballer. Those were the 2 things I wanted to be, and I was like, I'm going to be both. Sorry, I can't. Why don't I always say Stacey? Sorry. Why did I keep calling you Oh, yeah. Sorry, my brain is not working. Sorry, words. I do apologise. Yeah. Why was I saying Stacey? Maybe, maybe there's like another similar YouTube name as somebody caused it. I don't know. This is why I usually use people's like usernames because I always do stuff like that. Fucking useless. Oh, sounds me. So, go on then. Words. Who's your? If you do follow football at all, do you support a team? Do you have a team? Interesting. They're just saying literally she changed his life. Like really made a big impact on it. Very rare you hear that. A lot of these things people tend to there tends to be an easier narrative to sort of Yoko Ono, the women of these documentaries. West Ham. I remember watching West Ham on my 18th birthday. We beat them 2-1. Ian Dowie own goal, nodding it in. I've got a mate who follows Dagenham and Redbridge as well. But yeah, I remember that. Well, there was somebody I heard the other day, and he lived in the Channel Islands, and he said, "I am an Arsenal fan because my dad lived in Wales as a kid and didn't want to support any of the Welsh teams, so he asked for a Man United shirt at Christmas and got an Arsenal shirt because Mum was just like, oh, we'll get him a red one because I can't find the Man United. We'll just get him a red one, and then his entire family are Arsenal fans now." It keeps emphasising that he's gone, from the 8th tier up to the Premier League. 5 promotion. Well, not 5 promotions him personally, but he's moved up 5. 2014, Leicester in the Premier League. 2026, Leicester about to go into League One again. Yeah, that is such a mum, as kids would say these days, mum coded, isn't it? It's like me asking for like Nike socks when I was a kid and getting ones that said hike on them. It's just like they're the same thing. There's definitely a link between money and success in the Premier League. Have you met Manchester City? And I know they had this real connection with the family. I know Vardy did and Schmeichel did with the family that own Leicester or still own them. And obviously there's that horrific helicopter crash, which I'm sure will come into this, where you've got people talking, I think it's Jake Humphrey and a couple of others talking in the studio, and they're like, the helicopters took off and then it crashed. And people remember that happened again. That happened earlier as well with Chelsea person who was in charge of Chelsea, Matthew Harding, his helicopter crashed too. Oh, there's Mark Albright. So you're getting this. I mean, you could probably most football fans can name that Leicester team because it didn't really change very much week to week. So when you see a name like Wes Morgan or Mark Albrighton pop up, you're like, oh yeah, that guy. Somebody was saying this recently. You could just sit blokes down somewhere in a pub, and they could just name footballers from the sort of 2010s, and just that would be the conversation. Yeah, I think he's easy to like, and he's one of them though. If he's playing against you, you're like he's showing off his cup in his ears. He's right in front of you. You'd hate him, but like the only time I've seen him play against my team, we were crashing out into moving gradually down to Conference North, and he was moving up the league. So it wasn't like I was going, oh man, like, oh, we lost 6-0 to Fleetwood. Oh, it was so close. It wasn't close. I think we may have even lost 7-0 to Fleetwood at one point. And Vardy here just showing Leicester getting a bit smashed around by Man United. Manchester United. At the beginning of the game. And then Jamie. Yeah, I remember this. That might have been, if VAR was around, that might have been out, that ball, before he crossed it. So they got 1 goal. Well, I don't know. I don't think West Ham will drop that far. I don't think many teams really drop that far. But I think you'll probably stop at the Championship and then. I mean, to be fair, I'd like it if Spurs went down. I think it'd be particularly because there's a chance if Stockport win tonight in the playoffs, we get to the final. I go to Wembley, we win, we get back to the Championship. Then we might, if Tottenham get relegated, be playing Tottenham. So I've seen Stockport play West Ham before. I want us to play Spurs. I want to have a big day out. So that would be nice. I'm rooting for West Ham to stay up. But I was also rooting for Arsenal to win the league because I can't fucking stand Manchester City. So here's showing Leicester getting back into it. Oh yeah, Cambiasso. Can't be Arsenal. Yeah, Cambiasso. I remember him. This was the thing where Leicester, the first time under Pearson, he galvanised the team and kept them up. And then they sacked him. And then they brought in Ranieri, who had this team already there, and essentially picked that 11 players, and they just went up and up and up. He wasn't the Tinker Man then, he was kept in pretty much the same. Yeah, West Ham stay up, Spurs go down, we get promoted. We've got to beat, we're 1-0 up, and we've got the playoff semis tonight. Sadly, I can't go. Which my younger self would hate me for that because when I was a kid I never missed a game, but I just can't. But I will go to Wembley if we go. Get it. 5-3 it finished here. Jamie Vardy 5, Manchester United 3. He's got the spiked mohawk there as well. Definitely put his name on the map. That haircut's probably out too. Who is he? Yeah. He wore an ankle tag in non-league. Now Vardy is a top flight fox in the box. You could tell he didn't like doing that interview. She's right. He can. He's definitely got a bit of like. Well, I guess he's just got a bit of a chip on his shoulder, which you have to be to start where you were and get where he was. You have to have insane self-belief, a real chip on your shoulder. He's definitely not media trained. Oh, Ranieri, was it like dilly dilly dong or something like that? Yeah, I can't remember why he said it. Oh man, his hair. He did not look happy in being interviewed then.
Oh, you've seen a shine from out there. You asked.
She's saying he's got a shine on his head. She's come in the middle of the interview. She's definitely micromanaging him, but he just seems like a bit of a big kid. There's elements of football that I remember, like the minutiae of, and I feel like the last few years not as much. I felt really sad last night. I was watching Middlesbrough and Southampton, and with all the spying and nasty comments to the guy with a stammer, and just it didn't feel like a nice atmosphere or I felt like the team that deserved to get the moral victory did not, and Southampton, I'm hoping they will lose to Hull in the final. I mean, whoever goes up, Southampton or Hull, will come straight back down again unless there's an absolute miracle. Sunderland did a good job this year of just completely changing their team and staying up. No, it won't be Leicester, I know that. Going up. I think Ipswich, interesting to see how they get on. They've got a good manager, but they struggled, didn't they, going back up, being up last time. Coventry, another one. What will happen with them? They might be okay, Coventry. But it's how much do you change? How much do you it's a tricky one, though. So yeah, they had to win at least four out of their. They'd only won 5 games all season, but they had 8 games to go, and they needed to win about 4 of them to stay up. This was when they were struggling before they went on that run. Oh my word, it's absolutely pissing it down here. So, wonder if it'll be like that in Stockport. Probably not. So 2015, they had to stay up. He did a good job at Leicester, Pearson. I wonder if he'd go back now. Can't go back 3 times. Maybe the game's passed him by a bit. I wonder if Vardy will go back. I mean, is he out of contract in Italy? Would he be all right in League One level? Yes, I think so. From what I've seen of him in Italy, he doesn't seem out of shape. I mean, he must have trained so hard because he's scoring goals with his left foot, his right foot. You don't do that without. I always think of players 2-footed. They're the sort of kid who's practicing whacking that ball against the wall. He's good for, you can tell here, he's good for motivation, good for getting the other players behind him. You know, you need those characters in a dressing room or in any situation. You need like a kind of somebody who's just like, come on, let's get this done. You know, let's kind of motivating people in a not in a kind of like I'm the captain, come on guys kind of way, but in like a down to earth way. You need that. It connects you to in football. It connects them to the fans, I think. Vardy. So it's gradually moving up here. 31 points. The team in the relegation place below them's on 30. And then another one. Remember him, Uchoa? He was a good player. So they managed to just keep moving and moving and moving. Mahrez as well. Mahrez, like 500,000, ended up being bloody, one of the best players in the league. I would say, favourites for the game tonight? Yeah, I would say so. I mean, we've lost to Stevenage twice this season, but then like last season we were a much better team. We got to the semi-finals and then we lost on penalties to Leyton Orient, who have then gone on and struggled all season. So it's one of them, really. Like, I don't think playoffs, your previous form or what you've done against these teams in the other season, in the rest of the season, matters a jot. It's just a complete one-off cup competition. So Stevenage have beaten us twice, and we beat them on Saturday. We might, we just need either to draw or win tonight. So I would say we're favourites for that. Bolton and Bradford, either of those will be challenging. Bolton more so. They've got a young player there on loan from Chelsea, Crozier Dubry, who is so good that I'm just scared of him running like crazy against us at Wembley because the pitch is so big. So I'm worried about tonight's game with Stevenage in the sense of even if we get there, we go to Wembley. I've got to travel all the way to Wembley, which is about 6 hours or so for me. Get there, and then I'll be like, bloody hell, this young whippersnappers ran around and made us look like a fool. I think the problem is as well that we never take as many fans. That's fine. We can accept that. It's just, I don't know. We've only won once at Wembley. I was there, 2008. We just seem to really struggle. It's a long way. I do feel like Bradford and Bolton have both beaten us this season. It matters not. You just have to get there first, I suppose. And we'll see. We'll see. It's a shame I won't be able to take my dad with me. He won't be. He's too old to travel that far now. But he come with me in 2008. That was the big one. Yeah, Kante. What a great player. He's another personality you need. Somebody who just outworks everyone else and like sets the example through his behaviour on the pitch. Just non-stop work, like a real grafter. And you can't, it's a bit like no one can make any excuses. Go, well, he's doing it. And I think he used to drive just a little, like a really low cost, like Volkswagen Polo or something like that. He's just a really endearing character. Kante's supposed to be one of the nicest guys in football. Oh, this is where, they stay up and Vardy puts chat shit, get banged. Even my wife, when I say Jamie Vardy, will say, "Oh, chat shit, get banged." He didn't even know why he posted it, and then look, there's some guys doing a song called "Chat Shit Got Banged." A wise man once said, "Chat shit, get banged." Tattoos, t-shirts. He is who he is. This guy who's on the radio fella from Leicester. I just keep thinking it's Adrian Chiles. Oh, and we're back to an advert, and I will do a time. I keep forgetting to do a time check. Chat shit, get banged. What a line. Budweiser advert. Imagine going to the World Cup and then having to spend about £15 on a pint of Budweiser. Oh my word, pint of piss. Okay, time check. We've got 43 minutes left. 43:20 left. I don't know where we are yeah. Wherever, if you're scrobbling around to watch with me, then yeah, we've got dead on 43 minutes left. Pearson's been sacked, which would be a shock, I imagine, to Vardy if he was his hero. Because he had done a great job. But how many managers do you know who've done a great job? They sacked them, and then the team free falls the next season because you're like, oh, we should have just stuck with the person. It's like Spurs this year, like, we didn't do very well in the league last year, and we have to get rid of Ange Postecoglou, even though he's won our first trophy for fucking decades. And then it's like, we can't do any worse in the league. Oh yeah, you can. Do you know, I read somewhere that Nigel Pearson went hiking, he goes hiking a lot, up a mountain, and some wild wolves attacked him and he fought them off. That's the kind of guy he is. I'm not sure if he's been ill, you know. Could not be any more different than the manager that got in Ranieri, and you'd be like, I'm not sure about this guy. Nigel Pearson. Love this guy's voice. Claudio Ranieri, as they call him at Chelsea, the Tinker Man, because he used to change the team all the time. Yeah, nobody's literally, the comment is, what the fuck? It's a strange appointment. It's a strange appointment. I thought it was Harry Redknapp. He's very exciting for me. Shishon. That was more Spanish accent, I'm sorry. So he'd been in charge of Greece for 4 games before that, and lost to the Faroe Islands, got sacked. There were very different personalities. Nigel's approach was to foster this team spirit, whereas Claudio... So he's saying about Nigel fostering the team spirit. Yeah, once you've got that, all he had to do was just keep it the same, not really do too much. Yeah, a 59-year-old ran into trouble while on a solo walk and broke a wolf's jaw as part of his effort to get away. Not many people. Nice. That's the manager of Leicester, guys. If you're watching this with us, that's the manager of Leicester. And what, a hard man, tough nut he was. I remember some player like getting in his face and they just wrestled on the floor. Bonkers. There's certain central defender mindsets where you think, bloody hell, these guys are a different breed. Goalkeepers, bonkers. Centre halves, if you're willing to take a boot in the face. So Elvis being found alive was 2,000 to 1. And Leicester winning the Premier League was 5,000, it says here. The impossible dream. So many pundits. There was no pundits saying they were going to do it, which is great. Yeah, so they had to get to the relegation points as quick as possible. That was their plan. So when they won the league, their plan was like, we're not going to get relegated or nearly get relegated like last season, so we'll get to that 40 points. And then they just kept going. Here it is, 2015, 8th of August. Former Tinker Man of Chelsea, now in charge. It's crazy. It's crazy. I still think it's unbelievable. Like, it's hard to take in that this happened. I really hope It'd be it'd be similar if Hearts do it in Scotland. Like I say, I really hope they manage. They've got the last game of the season will be Hearts versus Celtic, and whoever wins that will win the league. And please let it be Hearts. I'm fed up with Rangers and Celtic winning every year.
Was it because he'd been with England and he's now used to scoring goals in the Premier League, or was it something which was going on in the background? A few weeks before that game,
just give me a moment while I just get the door. I'm back. Oh, so he said a racial comment which he wasn't very happy about, that people weren't very happy about. Oh yeah, bonkers. I think I used the phrase bonkers quite a lot. Well, let's see what I've got here. Live unboxing. Won't be anything interesting, I'm sure. Oh, I know what it is. It's some records. So, yeah, he's getting a lot of stick here for saying something about Japanese people more uneducated than intentionally. Well, junk mail. He just said the same thing. His wife. He said those words because he was uneducated. Filmed on TV, PCTV. Didn't go very well. He got fined.
It's not something you get taught.
This is it. If you're not exposed to, I'm not making excuses for him, but you're not exposed to something. It definitely is. In a lot of cases, there's no malice. It's lack of education, and in this sense, he's just said like it was valuable to him to learn and find out and discover what he said and what it meant. And I think that's spot on. Like he's handled that really well. And if you don't let people learn and grow from things, then what's the what do we do then? We just bin people off forever and say that's it, they're done. And I think it's ridiculous, because there's a difference there, isn't there? There's like genuine remorse, there's understanding of mistakes, there's learning, there's like instant regret. Like what more can he do? Like, fuck's sake. There's a difference if he just went, yeah, I said it, I don't give a shit, and I hate those people. Like, then fuck that guy. But that's not what he did. So, and then he's got fined, he's done his training, and now he's back scoring goals. Spot on. His scoring spree continued. I mean, he took penalties as well. That's one thing to remember. I'm not saying that is like, oh, he's shit. But like some of the top strikers I've seen, like scoring tons and tons of goals, and then they didn't take penalties, is crazy. This season, Kyle Wootton, County, what a hero. Second top scorer in the league. We've got no centre halves. He's moved back to play at centre half for Stockport. And he wasn't on penalties either. He was banging in the goals. I might have to cut this a bit short before the end of the film because my dog has got physio at 1:30, and it's 1 o'clock for those of you watching in real time with me, and I appreciate that. So this was when Van Nistelrooy was leaving United, and they were saying, "Oh, you know, he's got this record for scoring in consecutive games, and can Vardy beat it?" Another bloody advert. What's this one for? Women running through a woods. Joe, oh, it's a perfume, right? And now an advert for Google, yeah, because people are going to go, "What's this Google thing? I've never heard of it." Okay, thanks for that advert. Brilliant. So he beat the record, scored the consecutive games. 9th match in a row. Oh, he was 1 away from matching the record. That's it now. Cheers, words. Thanks for joining me. Appreciate that. I appreciate your insight, especially about the Wolves incident. Fighting a wolf, not the football team. Thank you very much. I'd forgotten about him breaking this record, to be honest, Vardy. You tend to only remember records if it's by players who play for your team, I think. Bye. Yeah, it's been fun. It's always fun reminiscing about football, isn't it? It's definitely you've got the commentators here, all the pundits. It's hard to explain. It's definitely hard for Paul Merson to explain. Sometimes I mean, he's got a nice, seems like a nice guy, good personality, but he finds it hard to string a sentence together. Manchester United. So if he scored the 11th one, it would beat the record against the team who currently have the Van Nistelrooy, who has the records.
Everything surrounding the game just felt huge. It felt massive.
I guess is this documentary going to finish with the Leicester winning the league thing? Maybe.
Really spoke about it.
Don't know.
It's almost like we don't want to interrupt.
What have I done?
Put too much pressure on one game. To be honest,
Ooh.
it didn't look like he was feeling any pressure.
I'm flying around the screen all over the place here.
I just said, look, Jamie, if you don't break the record, it's okay. You got to 10. It's an incredible achievement. Just didn't come straight back. Don't worry about tomorrow. I'm getting one.
Yeah. Don't worry about tomorrow. I'm getting one. He was so determined he was going to get this, beat this record.
He almost sacrificed a goal to make sure he scores.
Interesting, isn't it? Records on. You probably don't know about records until you're halfway to getting one of them.
He's in. And Christian Fuchs clips that pass straight into his mouth.
Christian Fuchs. No look pass.
Fuchs bashed the ball. He took the shot.
Don't miss. He's done it. He's like, it's me, I am. I don't miss. Smash the record. Mine.
Just get in the moment. We won't get to break records. But seeing one of our close friends.
That's pretty cool. They were all trying to get him to score the goal. They were all supporting him. That's really cool.
Felt like we'd scored it. And the cheer.
What a great team spirit they must have had. Or they clearly have. And how quickly they all just fell away, these players. I remember us playing Leicester a couple of seasons ago, and like, they're not the same.
He sent me a message from the dressing room saying, well, that ended well.
Sent me a tweet at the time. It was.
You're number one now. We're in Restore Roy Centre.
Yeah, it's pretty good. Pretty good. After the run that he went on, we found ourselves here.
That second spot, same points as Man City. Come on, let's go. It's on 29 points in. Their own.
Just after.
No.
So we went to jump on a flight, and then just as I landed, got a phone call off my wife saying your agent's trying to get hold of you. You need to ring him.
Is this when? Who was after him? Arsenal were after him.
Just letting you know, there's a story coming out in the papers tomorrow. So I'm like, about what? I've not done anything wrong. He's like, no, they've
They've found your real dad.
Real dad. I was like, what?
Why do newspapers stir this stuff up?
Online said we've had Jamie's father game today. Well, father wasn't at the game. They went, oh no, his biological father was at the game.
I think I mentioned. I thought he was adopted.
So I rung his mum first, and she's crying her eyes out, saying, "You have to stop this. You have to stop this.
This isn't fair."
Yeah, they've been in.
What? And this is where newspapers come to people and say, "We're going to run this story on you anyway, so you might as well comment because you want to put it in your, and we might get it wrong." So.
In Swansea Stadium, and then done a big massive interview with him.
So the press, the photographers, paparazzi started turning up.
It's messing with people's lives, like.
Pictures of Jamie, and I'm thinking, I need to get him home.
Yeah, I flew back home just to get away from it all.
Wow.
Get my head back.
Sad. Why do that? Why stir up somebody's private life? For what reason?
I had a slight inkling from.
Oh, he didn't know. He wasn't adopted.
People come to me saying, "Oh, we know your dad, but from completely different areas."
So the dad he thought was his dad. Okay.
Just used to back it off most like.
He didn't really think about it. People had made comments to him about his real dad. Obviously, his mum will have been devastated. Exactly. It's not in the public interest. Okay, sorry. Not in the public interest. It's just going to traumatise an entire family. It ruined his feeling celebrating beating this record. God, the press are awful, aren't they? Can you imagine just somebody just delving into your life for no reason?
Letters sent to the club from so-called family.
Just after a bit of money.
You do want to speak, basically I'm your auntie. Not for me.
Yeah, getting messages from people.
He's not tried reaching out, not tried doing anything. Probably got a bit of cash for doing that paper and all that. So.
Yeah, bit of cash for doing the newspaper. That's it. If you're on the first time you hear about somebody or you know about somebody through a newspaper, it's not a very good sign, is it?
Without ever solidly confirming that thing isn't actually correct. It's just unforgivable.
Sounds like Rebecca Vardy's pissed off with his mum.
Probably one of the harder things.
Not telling him, but I mean, again, she's not in that position.
Thought I should have been told if it was true. I've still not heard it from them now.
She just wanted to. Yeah.
Kids. So I made the decision. I was done with it.
Oh, so he's cut off his mum as well. Wow.
Wife, got children.
He's just got his wife and kids now, and that's it.
We're here. We're happy.
Because his mum's not told him this, and that's how he found out for a newspaper. Wow, that's wrecked his family. That's wrecked his entire family. Like, oh my word.
After the news broke, he had a game coming up.
It's a mess with his head.
He is not in the right frame of mind. And I was worried that the built up resentment and anger was going to manifest in.
Oh yeah, she was worried he's going to get himself sent off, or he's going to smash a player into it or something. Yeah, this is the year they won the league. Wow. I mean, this isn't like one of those things where they have to add a bit of jeopardy in there for the documentary. I mean, that really happened. So Mahrez.
They managed to switch off everything.
It's just the games continued, just continued winning and kicking and
Where does he bury
scoring
Mahrez?
amazing goals.
Where does he bury being sad? I don't know where he puts it.
Interesting. He just pushed that away.
And he performs. Maybe that's the therapy.
It's like a step over the white lines, and it's like, right.
So as soon as he's on the field, everything else just he forgets about it. It's interesting.
How I've dealt with it.
His confidence in the way that he played was infectious. He was one that was setting the tone, and everyone had to follow that.
Wow. Mindset is incredible, and it's not something that he's learned, it's just something he's done. Pushed out certain things, relentless determination. This is why I think they find it so hard when the careers are over, because they're just like, oh, where do I channel that anger or frustration or determination or energy? Where do I channel it?
You pinch yourself. Is this really happening?
All nationalities and faiths have caught the football bug, and their success has created.
It's amazing how a whole town rides on a crest of a wave. People talk, oh, football doesn't matter or whatever, but a whole town rides on it. When they're winning, the whole atmosphere in a town is different. It changes massively.
I think everyone's just enjoying it for what it is.
We're just enjoying ourselves, just playing football, smiling on our faces.
Smile on his faces.
That's why the results were coming. But just saying, don't lose Liverpool, so.
Yeah, nobody was backing Leicester to win this. I think that's important to say. They had to beat Liverpool, City, Arsenal, or they had to not lose to them.
Everybody thought that Leicester would fail this test.
Oh man, everyone was other than the fans of these teams were support. What a cracker by Vardy. Got to be goal of the season against Liverpool. That just come down over his shoulder, sweet as a nut volley. Go fuck yourself, bang. That's where his anger goes. I've always fancied myself hitting a good volley, and that is a good volley. 2-0, they beat Liverpool.
Beating Liverpool at home was one thing, but to win a title, you've got to go to the toughest places in the country and get a result. And at that point, going to Manchester City was the biggest test they would face that season. Manchester City are one of the richest clubs in the world.
So nothing sweeter than me watching Manchester City not win things. Even if I wasn't like a Stockport fan and don't like City and spent my time growing up around City fans who most of them I didn't like, I would still not want them to win because of the shady shenanigans. However, Everton ended up getting fine points when City haven't. Are they completely different types of financial irregularities, or are they exactly the same? That's what I need to know. 5,000. They ended up getting Mahrez, didn't they, from City?
With no fear. Everything was so relaxed.
Bless you. Robert Huth, he was a big unit. I think I'm going to stop the stream after this. Obviously, we all know that Leicester continued on and won the league. But this is the best place to leave it for me. This is Manchester City losing to Leicester. Thank you, Jamie Vardy and friends, for that. I really appreciate it. They're ripping them up on their own patch. What a great place to leave it. So I'm about 20 minutes from the end here of the Jamie Vardy documentary. So far, I've really enjoyed it. And there's definitely not been anything kind of added to it to create a narrative. I believe this narrative to be very true to life, and he comes across well. You've done well for yourself, Jamie. If you ever watch this, like you've done well, man. Like to get where you were, from where you were to where you are, you know, in working class people from working class backgrounds who make it in football. Fair play, get that money, spend that money, enjoy it. You've earned it, because those billionaires were not going to give it to anybody else, were they? They were just going to keep it in their pocket. So yeah, I think I don't know. I have a lot of time for people who have worked their way to the top and overcome adversity. And that Leicester team, incredible. So we're all Hearts now. We want Hearts to do the same over in Scotland. So let's root for Hearts. So if you've watched this documentary and you're watching this now, let me know what you think. Let me know if you enjoyed it. Who would you do a sports documentary on? Or would you think that we need a Jamie Vardy film of this? I don't know. Could that work? Well, I guess if we've had the Elton John one, maybe the same team will make a Jamie Vardy one. Who knows? Okay, my friends, you take care and I'll see you again. Thanks for watching the channel. I appreciate it and I'll see you again. Take care. Bye-bye.